In today's video, I would like to share my opinion about the changes that are going to happen in the mid-season patch of the finals. We will discuss some potential ideas that can actually help developers revive the game and bring it from dead. And a lot of my friends asked me about my opinion of 5 versus 5 format that they are going to introduce in the mid-season. So let's actually get started. First of all, let's talk 5 versus 5. I honestly believe that this is definitely not the step in the right direction, both in terms of the idea and how they were able to actually cook it up, simply because the finals developers seem like a light bulb that's trying to light up the room when in reality it needs to cut through the thick sheets of metal just like a laser beam, focused up on fundamental issues that the game has. Not only you will never be able to compete against other AAA titles that already did 5 versus 5 format, and they did it actually really well. I'm talking about CS, Valorant, Tarkov Arena, other titles. Even I played X Defiant. I feel like it's a decent game, right? So the finals trying to compete with these titles that are already taking the spot is gonna lose a lot more than it's gonna gain, because the whole personality of the game revolves around you being really unique, interesting, and something that has never been done before. Well, in reality, the finals right now is turning into another FPS title on the market that failed. If you take a close look at pretty much every single big title, you realize that all of them possess same fundamental problems, and the finals developers only had one job, is to fix fundamental issues so you can actually play the game. I would compare the finals developers with a mother of a newborn child that's changing the curtains, buying new pajamas, turning on newer cartoons on an iPad instead of feeding the child. The child is suffering from hunger, is starving, and instead of feeding the baby, the mother is doing everything else, right? So I feel like this is a current state of development of the finals. We still have absolutely god awful ranked system, absolutely god awful, to the point where I haven't played a single ranked game for the past week. And mind you that this is my job to actually play this game on a high level. It is like my life is dependent on how good I have to play this game. Sure, I can still play some like high tier scrims and tournaments, but ranked system is very unfulfilling for both newer players and then the seasoned competitors, not to say the high tier competitors, to the point where you have silver players, gold players that just unlocked ranked going up against best players in the world. Like, there is, I don't believe there is a single worldwide FPS title that made such a major mistake like this, and it is a massive turnoff for the newer players. Hence the player retention hands down, the player retention is so excuse me, so low. When we take a look at another problem, and this is going to be a far worse than the previous one, it's going to be cheaters. I understand that pretty much every single game is suffering against them, although we have CSGO Faceit, and I believe there was borderline no way to use hacks on Faceit, as well as Valorant with a pretty good Vanguard, Vanguard, I said like I'm Asian, anti-cheat that actually allowed to detect players mid-game and kick everyone, and it was really cool and getting a lot of views on Twitch. So if developers would focus all of their attention, like imagine they've had an open beta, right? And instead of working on some nonsense, some of the things that no one asked for, they would laser focus on making sure that the rank experience is going to be the smoothest and the best possible, as well as giving the opportunity to play against players that are not only on your level, but you understand, you 100% sure that they are legit and not cheating. Right now, it came to the point where you can play ranked for 3 hours at the start of every new update, because the the hacks developers actually did not cook an update yet for the new patch. But when they do, ranked again becomes very dull, exceptionally horrible. I don't believe this is how the game should be, but I guess we just have to give it some time. The biggest problem with 5 versus 5 format is the fact that you can play 5 heavies and they will have abilities. You will have Mesh Shield, you will have RPG, you will have Bubble, and we are currently sitting in the worst meta that was ever in the finals. Closed beta 1, closed beta 2, open beta, release, season 1, mid-season 1, end of season 1, start of season 2. None of that is going close to the complete garbage of a meta we have right now. So we have double heavy Lewis gun with 8 barricades, APS turret that are just sitting in the corner, and even if they are making minor mistakes, the amount of effective HP will allow them to stay alive and nothing is gonna change. They will still be very, very well off, right? So a 5 versus 5, a proper one, if I were to be a developer of a game mode, right? I would make it without abilities, because like shooting in the finals is great. I love everything that's going on with movement. I feel like it's very, very well balanced, right? So I would make it without abilities. I would make it medium only. And this way, it would be actually very close to what other titles figured out already. You can have like domination on Call of Duty, where you just have to, like go for the same rules and principles like in this game. But no, the finals is trying to be unique, and I feel like we are still trying to ride a wheel that is not like a circle form, but either a square, and I guess developers would have to cut the edges off to the point where the wheel would become smaller than it intended to be, right? Just because it went through so many trials and tribulations, like an error and practicing. So I am going to see what developers will bring in a mid-season 2 update. I feel like we still can give them some time, but the hope is not there, at least in a high tier competitor community that I'm like playing mostly in. Pretty much every single extraordinary player I know quit the game, and they will come back 100%, but they need to have big tournaments, they need to have good balance, they need to have ranked system that they can practice on. And all of that can be achieved only through sheer willpower and great decision making from developers. So hopefully they will actually be able to cook this up, or else we would have to go and play other FPS titles. I am definitely not planning on coming back to Overwatch because it was absolutely awful. I'm still gonna continue making the videos on the finals, probably will do something IRL if it will fail. And wait for another FPS title. My childhood dream was to become an esports athlete. Sadly, for the past few years, I've been choosing titles that don't have an esports scene, apparently, after like months of release. So that is that. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about the current state of the game. How do you feel about the new update? See you in the next one. Take care.